Today's scripture readings come in two parts. The first reading is from the New Testament Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, verses 14 through 29. The second reading is from the Hebrew Scriptures, the second book of Samuel, chapter 6, verses 1 through 19. I am reading from the Inclusive Bible, so it may look a bit different than the version you have in front of you. Mark chapter 6, verses 14 through 29. Meanwhile, Herod, the ruler of Judea, had heard about Jesus, whose reputation had become widespread. Some people were saying, "John the Baptizer has been raised from the dead, and that is why such miraculous powers are at work in him." Others said, "He is Elijah." Still others, "He is a prophet, like one of the prophets of old." When Herod heard of Jesus, he exclaimed, "John, whom I beheaded, has risen from the dead." Now it was Herod who had ordered John arrested, chained, and imprisoned on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip, whom Herod had married. For John had told Herod, "It is against the law for you to have your brother's wife." As for Herodias, she was furious with John and wanted to kill him, but was unable to do so. Herod feared John, knowing him to be good and holy, and kept him in custody. And when Herod heard John speak, he was very much disturbed, yet he was moved by John's words. Herodias had her chance one day when Herod, on his birthday, held a dinner for the court circle, military officers, and leaders of Galilee. When the daughter of Herodias came in and danced, this delighted Herod and the guests so much that he told the young woman, "Ask me anything you like, and I will give it to you." And Herod swore an oath, "I will give you anything you ask, even half of my entire realm." She went out and said to her mother, "What should I ask for?" Herodias replied, "The head of John the Baptizer." The woman hurried back to Herod and made her request. "I want you to give me the head of John the Baptizer on a platter." Herod was deeply distressed by this request, but remembering the oath he swore before the guests, he was reluctant to break his oath to her. So Herod immediately sent one of the bodyguards with orders to bring John's head. The guard beheaded John in prison, then brought the head in on a platter and gave it to the young woman, who gave it to her mother. When John's disciples heard about this, they came and took the body away and laid it in a tomb. And now from 2 Samuel chapter 6, verses 1 through 19. David again called up all the warriors of Israel and picked 30,000 elite fighters. Then David and the whole force set out of Baalah in Judah to return the ark of God, which bears the name of Yahweh, who sits enthroned above the cherubim. The ark of God was placed on a new cart and removed from the house of Abinadab on the hill. Uzzah and Ahio walked before it, while David and all the people of Israel celebrated to their heart's content before Yahweh with songs, harps, lyres, tambourines, rattles, and cymbals. When they came to the threshing floor of Nacon, one of the oxen stumbled, and Uzzah reached out and took hold of the ark to steady it. Yahweh's anger so burned against Uzzah because of his violation that he was struck dead there beside the ark of the covenant. David was upset because of Yahweh's wrath against Uzzah, and to this day the place is called Uzzah's breach. David was afraid of Yahweh that day and said, "When will the ark of the covenant ever come to me?" For he was unwilling to take the ark of Yahweh to the city of David. So he diverted it to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. The ark of Yahweh remained there for 3 months. During this time, Yahweh blessed Obed-Edom and his whole household. When David heard that Yahweh had blessed Obed-Edom's family and household, David went down and brought the ark up from the house of Obed-Edom to the city of David with rejoicing. When the bearers of the ark of Yahweh took their first 6 steps, he sacrificed a bull and a fatted calf. David, wearing a linen ephod, danced before Yahweh with all his might, while he and his whole house of Israel brought up the ark of Yahweh with shouts and the sounds of trumpets. As the ark entered the city of David, Saul's daughter Michal took down the window and saw David leaping and dancing before Yahweh, and his display disgusted her. The ark of the covenant was brought in and set in its place within the tent David had set up for it. Then David made burnt offerings and peace offerings before Yahweh. Finishing the burnt offerings and peace offerings, the ruler blessed the people in the name of Yahweh. Then he distributed among the people of Israel present a half loaf of bread, a cake of dates, and a cake of raisins. And all the people returned to their homes. Hear what the Spirit of God is saying to the church. Thanks be to God.